Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. My mom is. She's trying to convince me as well. I'll think about it. I will.
So we're taking as close as possible, without being on the mat. Very nice on the ground. Try to use your legs as much as you can.
Oh, wow.
It is heavy, yeah.
Okay, that's
Try to use the momentum of the ground. Because right now you're actually making it heavier for yourself. So maybe rest a little bit.
Lift and then press.
And then when you lift it over from the ground, you actually try to right away go for the pull. It's basically a power clean.
I don't got that. Wow, that's heavy. I've never.
It is heavy. So.
Hey David, how are you? We are at Yale, and this is my first time actually trying live stream on YouTube because Jamie is here. Where's Jamie? Jamie Logan is there. She's talking to students, and she convinced me that I should do a live stream, and this is my first time. So just waiting for a few more people to join and see how it goes. So I'll give it a shot. We have Patrick here. And this is our setup, talking to lots of students. Hello everyone, whoever is joining now, we are at Yale University and we have the world's, the Germany's strongest man here, Patrick Babumian. And we have a beer keg. He's asking people to lift it if they think they're strong, and most people actually can't. Hi Ryan. They're actually speaking in German because I think the guy knows German.
Yeah, where it's more like you have the power to help
So Patrick and I will actually give a talk tonight at Yale, and for the first time I actually want to live stream the talk, so we'll see how that goes. I'll put the link here so you guys can actually watch it live.
I won the German strongest man is basically the heavyweight title in Germany, in strongman, and I won that in 2011. Thank you. I am vegan, yeah. I was vegetarian when I won the title, so at that point I was vegetarian for 6 years. I consider that a waste of time now, because I was vegetarian for the animals, but really if you look at the dairy industry, how it treats animals, you look at how animals are treated in the production of eggs, it's really not better than the meat industry. It's basically the same industry, if you will. And so at some point I actually understood that and I wanted to do a better job of go vegan, but I had no idea it could be done with my profession, which was strongman. And so that was mainly what was holding me back. But then I won that title of Germany's Strongest Man, and I realized that I was actually a role model for a lot of people, and I just wanted to be a better role model. That was really the reason I did it.
And could you expand on your journey from did you grow up eating meat? I know Germany is a very big country that has a lot of cultural products revolving around meat, and how you came from that to vegetarian to veganism?
Yeah, so I was a meat eater until I was 26. So when I went vegetarian, I was really because I always loved animals, but I never really connected the dots. So at the time where I made the decision, we were actually living near a forest, and we had a lot of wildlife that we would rescue. Sometimes we would have hedgehogs over the winter and all kinds of different wildlife that we would try to kind of when we would see any injured animal or wildlife, we would rescue it and so on. And so at that time, I just started thinking that it doesn't make a lot of sense to put a lot of time and energy into trying to help these specific animals that we had, and then at the same time go and buy products where other animals have to be killed. So that was really where I made the connection there. I was 26, and so I just went vegetarian and thought that really fixes the issue for me. Until I then, with the years, found out about how non-meat industries still exploit animals, and how basically as a vegetarian you're not really doing anything. You're just switching from one form of exploitation to the other form of exploitation. I literally just replaced my meat consumption with dairy consumption. So I was just going from this box of exploitation to this other box of exploitation, but not really making any progress in just not paying for exploitation at all. That can only be done with veganism. And then veganism is also not just diet, it's obviously a moral stance. So it goes, I don't wear anything that is made out of leather. I don't buy, like shampoo that is tested on animals and stuff like that. So it's way more, it goes beyond diet.
And what is your opinion on people who may not support this exploitation, but at the same time medically cannot go vegan?
So that is pretty much something that doesn't exist, because that would mean that you're like categorically allergic to all plants. That would probably get you like killed if you go outside.
What about somebody who cannot supplement, for example, I'm anemic, so I require a higher amount of iron supplements, but also
it's a very good point.
Iron, the vitamin supplement did not work for me, so I still with non-sure products.
So I was actually chronically iron deficient as a vegetarian. That got fixed after going vegan. So what I can tell you about that is that it's not just about what we put into our body, but it's also what to avoid. In my case, the dairy that I had was actually causing the problem. So I had tons of dairy, as I described. I had replaced all the meat with dairy consumption, so I had a lot of dairy. And dairy, along with black tea and coffee, actually blocks iron intake. So when it comes to anemia, or when it comes to, it's probably also connected to the iron. So when it comes to those deficiencies, it's not just about making sure that you actually get everything with your food. Sometimes we actually have enough iron in our food. In my case, for instance, as a vegetarian, I would even get supplements. I would take the supplements, go back to the doctor. It would still be deficient, because literally the dairy was blocking the iron intake, and that got completely fixed when the dairy was out of the system. So that's what I would tell you, is that, and that is, I'm not judging, because that's a general problem that we have as a society. We focus and kind of obsess a lot about making sure that we don't have any deficiencies. But in reality, if you look at what actually kills us, it's lifestyle diseases like diabetes, heart disease, even 40% of cancers are preventable with lifestyle choices. So that means that it's not like there is literally, there are no statistics of people dying from any deficiencies, because we are not a starving population. That just happens in starving populations. So the problem that we have is we are overeating on a ton of stuff, and that is causing most of the problems that we have as a society. So while it's, if you have some kind of allergies or something, that is going to make it more challenging. But at the same time, I was a strength athlete, and there was no strongman before me doing it, right? That made it more challenging for me to do it. The reason I did it is because I realized that also gave me the opportunity to open up the way for a lot of other people to kind of see that if I can do it, then they might be able to do it themselves as well. So if you have that kind of, allergy or something, if you then figure out how to still make it work, you can be that kind of, role model, or that kind of template for others to see, okay, even if it's challenging, even if I have these health problems, it is still possible to make it work. Obviously, you should make sure that you have a good understanding of nutrition so that you can make sure that you actually make it work. Because it's obviously not going to help anybody if you do it and then get ill or or you're not doing well on it. That was the reason why when I made the decision, I actually waited around 3 months to actually research and find out how to do it right before I did it. Because I mean, it's not going to help anyone if I do it and then just get weak overnight, right? So in my case, I still competed for another 5 years, and I was actually getting stronger and stronger every year. So the diet was at least as adequate as my diet before.
Can I add something quick?
Yes.
So today we are actually giving a talk, both of us. So him as an athlete, me as a doctor. So what we are actually talking about, we cover iron as well. Did you know it's like #1 deficiency in the world? And most people eat meat, so clearly eating meat does not help with iron deficiency because some people just need more iron, right? But the thing is, when you cook iron, a lot of the bioavailable iron actually precipitates. Most people who actually, most of the iron that you are already getting, it's coming from fruit, vegetables, or fortified foods like breakfast cereals. At the end of the day, some people still need the supplementation and they still have to take it because they just don't absorb iron as much. But you can always take it with vitamin C and avoid caffeine and things like that bind to iron.
And I'm sorry, can you just state your name for me?
My name is Dr. Faraz Harsini. That's Farazharsini.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. And one more question just about the whole veganism in a strong athlete environment. Have you gotten pushback or comments based on your stance on it from other athletes or press?
Yeah, so when I started off, I was basically the first and only guy doing it. So there was a lot of pushback, but it usually didn't come from a place of kind of malice or anything. It's just for a lot of those athletes, it was hard to believe that it's even possible. And I'm not judging because I thought it's impossible before I did it and found out it was actually way easier than I thought, right? And so there was a mix of some of them were concerned, others were kind of doubting the whole thing. But then the cool thing is that after I retired in 2016, there were literally hundreds of athletes doing it in strongman and powerlifting and in bodybuilding and all kinds of different strength sports. So at this point, it is like we have moved way past that point. So obviously there's still going to be kind of naysayers and people who don't want to believe it, just out of the fact that they just don't want to change, and so they want to tell them basically this narrative that it's impossible, so that they don't have because most of us actually love animals, right? So if you know that it can be done without paying for animal exploitation, it kind of also puts you a little bit under pressure to why not do it if it is possible, right? And so if you tell yourself it's not possible, that kind of gives you an excuse to not actually move from where you are, which is always the easier choice, right? It's always easier to not change than to actually change. And so there's always going to be people who kind of, tell themselves that narrative so that they have an excuse to not change. But the proof is in the pudding, and there are all these athletes out there doing it now. So, I mean, right now I'm here touring, doing the keg lift, but I actually retired 9 years ago, and the last 3 years I've actually just spent in my office, basically not even lifting or anything. So this is kind of like a joke that I'm still going around here doing these lifts, and I'm actually surprised that it still works. And we've been here for 6 weeks, and so far I haven't found anyone to be able to beat me, so that's kind of cool, without training. But right now I'm actually working on something completely different, which is an animal rights video game, because I'm trying to find other outlets basically for the messaging that I used to do as an athlete. I'm trying to put that into other formats and kind of, just open people's minds about how important it is to make sure that we don't exploit animals the way that we do it. Because it is, when you look at the numbers, it is just the biggest form of injustice and the biggest form of exploitation and abuse that is out there, just because of the numbers of animals that we kill and exploit every second. So it's something that is really near to my heart, and I try to find any outlet that I can find. In this case, I'm touring with these guys, allied scholars for animal protection, who do animal rights work at campuses.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm basically supporting everybody who is doing that work. And I'm also trying to find every outlet that I can to communicate animal rights and convince people that it's an important thing to get behind.
Great, thank you so much.
And over there, we are actually showing the footage of what happens to animals, because I think we are sort of being lied to, because every time you have meat, eggs, dairy, they show you happy animals, right? They put like humanely raised, grass-fed, free-range, pasture-raised. But the question we have to ask ourselves, what happens to male chickens in the egg industry? What happens to male cows in the dairy industry? And they're always exploited and killed. So if you're actually available, please feel free to come to the talk. It's at 5:30.
Thank you.
Yeah. What do you guys do?
We're students here.
Yeah, I figured, like journalism or...
No, actually, I'm writing an essay for an English class about somebody I have to randomly go up to and interview. So,
Such a great coincidence.
yes, so if I have the essay done while you're still here, maybe I'll send it to you.
I would love to. Can I give you my email?
Do you need a pen?
Yeah, sure. You're both in the same major?
No, we just came from the same class.
Okay.
Yeah, I just walked.
What class did you guys have?
We just had stats, intro to statistics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a biophysics and biochemistry
What?
major.
My PhD is in biophysics.
Really?
Yep.
Really? I like your shirts, by the way. Did you guys make them yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's from the organization.
So it's just my name, faraz@alliedscholars.org. But what I say, so I did biophysics, so I did a lot of protein structure function, NMR, crystallography, all that, for biomedical sciences, because I actually wanted to help people. I did cancer research, I studied pandemic zoonotic diseases, I designed antibodies. Even the pandemic zoonotic diseases, I was working on COVID-19, bird flu. At the end of the day, it comes down to the food system. Like, where does bird flu come from? From chickens that we are eating for either their eggs or their meat, right? So as long as we have a food system that relies on meat, eggs, dairy, we're just gonna have pandemics. Like you said, number one cause of death is heart disease. Comes from saturated fat, cholesterol, stuff that carcinogens that you find in meat, eggs, dairy. And that's the reason I decided to focus on food system transformation is this, because anything that you care about, the root of it is probably the food system and the injustice that we are causing to animals. But yeah, if you want more resources for your essay, scan this, and then you can see some like documentaries.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And this one is about health.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very nice to
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, of course.
Have a great rest of your day.
Oh, that's great. I'm on here now.
Oh, yeah.
You could hear it really well too.
That's Patrick. Yeah, I am live. I've been alive for 36 years.
That was a wonderful conversation.
What a great combination here. Patrick Baboumian and Jamie Logan.
I will not do the dance.
Not me.
Scare everybody of seeing me dance.
Hey, it might draw the crowd over, man. Today has been such a wonderful day here at Yale University. So grateful to Dr. Faraz and allied scholars and just setting this up. It takes a team to do this with all the supplies we have and the signs, the posters, the TV screens, but it's so worth it because lives are being changed today and during the whole tour that you have going on here with allied scholars.
And that was so cool. These students, this wasn't made up. It was like literally live. I went to them. I noticed that they were actually recording Patrick. So they were writing an essay for their English class. So what it means is that now even more students have to, read the essay. And that was just one incident in front of camera. That's the snowball effect that we have in universities.
Totally. Oh my gosh. Well, these children, they're the future. And so some of them even go and change their majors to make it about making the world a better place.
They all want to make the world a better place, but they don't even think about animals. So it's not even on their radar, right? So how can they even care about animals if they don't think about it? We were just talking to a law student who was 95% vegan, whatever that means. And you know, her point was, oh, there are so many other forms of human oppression. Why this? I'm doing my best. But I think that's not fair, because if you actually care about humans, first of all, you listen to the conversation. Like, number one cause of death is related to eating animals. Like, why don't we talk about that? Why don't we talk about pandemics and zoonotic diseases? Because they come back to the food, and if you talk about the food, then you have to start from yourself. It's really easy to just say Israel, Palestine, this country, this cause, that cause, because none of that, you don't actually have to do anything. All you have to do is say,
point the finger.
Yeah. That's why I like veganism, because it actually starts from us. And once you're vegan, then I listen to you telling me that you actually care about other causes. And we try to make a point that you can be 95% vegan, the same way that you can't be a part of Black Lives Matter and say, like, I'm 5% like racist.
Exactly. And it just creates a loophole for people to abuse animals some of the time. And for those victims, for the animals, they don't care that you only eat them once a week. They don't care that you do meatless Mondays. They had to die, their whole entire lives taken away from them for something so ridiculous, like a sandwich, like a jacket, like a pair of shoes. It's this mindset shift, this transformation of going from animals are here with us, not for us. And that's the conclusion we should be coming to. Because when we place ourselves in the victim's position, that's what we want.
Yeah. My new favorite question is I ask people, what did you have for lunch 2 days ago or yesterday? And no one can remember. It's like, for that food that you can't even remember, somebody had to really die.
Wow. Wow.
But yeah, so we're gonna go live during our talk later at 5:30 Eastern time.
So awesome.
So stay tuned, and thanks for joining. This is my first time going live. Just wanted to test it out. I probably do more of this. So thanks again. See you soon.